Janeiro, maio, vamos finalizar.
It was a dangerous artifact. It could monster. Maybe we could find a way
O último ali deve ter muitos
to
finais.
take its power with us. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion, and he had a gut feeling that he needed to use that to his advantage. Every child grew up at the sky
De novo, só que mudar o
transcendent
final
empress
depois.
had buried its pieces deep. And then, this emperor's horrific sacrifices had brought it back to the surface. Renato wasn't exactly...
Bora.
As he set foot in the island, Renato couldn't help feeling a bit curious. Was Lapino still waiting to be rescued? No. He was probably drinking champagne with the ravens. Did ravens drink champagne? Did rabbits? Renato felt oddly thirsty, come to think of it. Why had he chosen the Sky River? Renato never made plans that required hunt.
Vamos aqui.
That had been his mistake before, trusting his old friend Lapino, who'd been through so many battles with him and shed so many heartaches, who he'd rescued so many times. What was up with that guy anyway?
Precisamos de paus.
Two eyes good. One eye dead.
Dois pontinhos, né? E é isso. Nossa, com muito mais vigor.
Sky Ripple's armature. The stuff that dreams are made of. Engineers' dreams, anyway. The device was intricate. No one alive had the skill to make a thing like it. How was it part of a weapon at all? He'd have to ask a scientist. But first, he'd get the second piece. Sky Ripple had a heart. A corps that had come to rest in the next island. Well, there was another island he could reach. Zenobia had just invaded it with her father's Raven battalions. She must be encamped there still. But fighting Zenobia now, that made no sense at all. He'd already sacrificed one friend to get this armature, was it? He didn't need to hurry to face her. She would find him. It was a no-brainer. He'd sacrificed his old friend Lapino to get the armature. He looked up at the old trees around him. They were so big and so old. They'd been there before he was born, and they'd be there after he passed into legend. Was he confronting his own unimportance? What got him to him? He was no philosopher. Anyway, he was plenty important. He was a hero, and soon he'd prove it.
Nem sei se eu precisava disso, mas... O bagulho de Skyrim ele com uma falação.
There was something sour in the air. Like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time. This must be that sufficiently advanced technology we always talked about. There were fewer and fewer trees. There were only these huge crystalline growths. Had those been here before? He no longer heard birds except for the feverish cawing of the raven when they attacked. He couldn't smell the small animals in the forest. The mice, rats. Where had they gone? He was getting hungry too. This was an unhealthy place to be.
Gosto assim, jogar na super velocidade.
Once he'd sneaked into a temple of the dark arts, and he hadn't liked what he smelt and saw there. This felt like that. As quick as he could, he wrangled the icosahedron into the armature. The wheels began to spin, then glow. The sick feeling. Now he only felt sad. He had lost good friends for this war apparatus. Maybe Lapino wasn't such a good friend. Yeah, that made him feel better. He carried his prize back to the Farfell. Now, to make his next move. There was a key Imperial outpost on the Nexus. If this really was some sort of super weapon, you could use it to wreak havoc on the enemy. And if it wasn't, well, better to know that before the final battle. But maybe he should show it to some scientists first. There was an observatory on the Nexus. Maybe he should go there before he fired it. Romano had never been much of a student. At sword through school, he'd never read the books, just looked at the pictures. And Zenobia. But weapons he understood. His gut told him that the Skyripper would work great. He would use it to take out the Imperial outpost. What's the worst that could happen? The thing wouldn't work, and then he'd take it to the scientists, right? Bernardo actually could think of a few things that were worse, but he would make sure they didn't happen this time, right? Exactly. As he set out down the path, Bernardo wondered why the parts of the Skyripper had only surfaced now. thousands of years after the Transcendent Emperor had discarded it. This Emperor, Isengrim III, had performed terrible, bloodthirsty rituals to invoke the lost gods. Perhaps that was bringing up lost artifacts. How perfect, then, that the Sky River would reappear to be his destruction. And hopefully this time, just his destruction.
Agora aqui eu não lembro. No caminho que eu fiz aqui, se tem outro depois, né? Não sei. Eu vou até fazer um diferente. Elas são sempre as mesmas, só que com caminhos diferentes. Né?
He was tired of slaughtering ravens. Maybe it was time to test out the new weapon. He turned a knob on the Sky River. It made strange, mechanical noises. The wheels spun faster. It began to hum. The Sky River was following his every step. At least it acknowledged him as the master. But there was no trigger. How was he supposed to fire it? Fire, he said. Nothing happened. Well, maybe it just needed to warm up. After all, it hadn't been fired in thousands of years. Spinning so fast he could no longer see them. Renato had a thought. Please? He asked. The Sky River began to glow. Boom! The outpost burst into flame. Ravens flapped out screaming, wings on fire. The base was his. The fire speaker toad came hopping out. Renato! It croaked, sounding like a toad version of Zenobia. Don't use the Sky Ripper! It will destroy the world! Yeah, sure it will, cracked Renato. Pull the other one. If you don't trust me, go see Calaveras. That sounded sensible. Why did she always have to sound sensible all the time? Oh, it was infuriating. Of course she would say that. He was supposed to hurry and bring the Sky Ripper to the council so the rebels could actually win the war. But what if she was right? Damn it. Zenobia was so frustrating. If she couldn't get you with magic, she'd get you with reason and caution and sensible arguments. Of course, Calaveras, he might not know the latest scientific theories with evidence and all, but Renato preferred the knowledge in the old books anyway. What they said felt true, and that's what's important. You should be careful. She'd probably guess he'd come here. That meant she'd probably set an ambush for him.
Se aqui depois tiver uma outra. Por enquanto não, né?
Renato landed on the island, expecting Zenobia's ambush at any moment. God, after all these years, she still drove him crazy. And Unless it were part of the ambush, the obvious reason he was meant to see so his mind up minds he would. There seemed to be a lot of ravens around here.
Nossa, quase que eu morri agora.
Zenobia's ambush never materialized. Could she be sincere? Calaveras was a great scholar. Ronaldo doubted even Zenobia could convince him to say something he didn't believe. And if it was working for the Empire, he'd never have told Ronaldo about the Sky Ripper in the first place. He would listen to the wise old code, but that didn't mean he had to agree. Just that shiny deserved to be opened. Why did he listen to Zenobia? She was the enemy. Of course she didn't want him to use his shiny new weapon. It was. She was appallingly honest. She wouldn't lie even to an enemy. And if she'd never lied to him. So if she said he had to see Calaveras, it probably was a good idea to see him. It was infuriating. Calaveras examines the Sky Ripper eagerly. What? How often does a new relic surface? He brushed off Zenobia's warning. Oh, what a sorceress's door about physics. However, he did know a few ways to make the weapon even more precise and more powerful, and quickly went off to tinker. Soon the Sky Ripper no longer whined, but thrummed like a hummingbird taking off. It was ready for war. And so, Bernardo thanked Calaveras, took the legendary weapon to the final battle. But where were the other rebel ships? Had something happened? He could defeat the Imperial fleet with the Sky Ripper, but he couldn't govern. He was not cut out to the Emperor, and he'd no desire to build one. There were a few rebel ships here and there, but there was no organization to the battle. Where was the Council flagship? Something had gone terribly wrong, but he had the Sky Ripper, and the Ravens had nowhere they could hide. There it was again. The back door to the portal that went to the center of the fleet. The council speaker was on the deck, bleeding. Why was she even here? They found our base, she croaked. The council, all dead. We must surrender. No, we can still win this, said Renard. I have the Sky Ripper. He would be a real hero and save the day, even when all appeared to be lost. You're a good boy, said the speaker. And then she died.
Sempre encontro alguém morto nesse barco. De guerra.
With a tremendous whoosh, the Emperor's flagship went up in flames. And for good measure, he played the beam around it, setting all the other nearby Imperial ships on fire too. And he watched them burn. Good use of Sky Ripper safely. The few remaining rebels gave a cheer. And then they stopped cheering. There was a hole in the air. A blackness, like a tear in the parchment. Wind was blowing into it, widening it. It grew larger. Crates were falling off ship decks, upwards into the hole. And the world itself seemed bent, like the reflection on a curved mirror as it poured into the ravenous hole. He guessed that somewhere behind that ever-widening hole were gods that had long been exiled. But it didn't really matter. Time was done for here, and soon it was.
Ó, tô quase fechando ali já. Bom, pessoal, é isso. A gente vai continuar, claro, mais uma vez com mais um vídeo, né? E vou pedir para vocês que continuem acompanhando o nosso próximo episódio. Então, continua no próximo episódio.